got some good news for you. We've been analysing the pace compared to our rivals, and it looks like we'll be very competitive. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you, Chris. Some positive news. I could always do with some positive news at the end of the season. Welcome back to F1 2017 here, guys. This is round 19, the Brazilian Grand Prix. Got some good news. Apparently, we're going to be competitive in these final two races, and we need to be because we're locked in a fierce battle with Sergio Perez and Felipe Massa for 7th in the Drivers' Championship. We're going to gloss over practice, did it all, perfect points, etc., etc., blah-de-blah-de-blah. So this is qualifying now. Brazil, good circuit for me, I like to think. I've made a mistake there, as you can see, going quite deep through the middle sector, and again, making another mistake, pushing pretty hard, but Brazil's one of my favourite tracks on the calendar. I don't like a lot of the tracks at the end of the season. I'm more of a fan of the tracks at the start of the season. But Brazil's a personal favourite of mine just because the laps are so quick. It goes by pretty damn fast, and it's just a fun flowing circuit to drive. We're going to open our account in qualifying with a 1 minute 12.1, which puts us only ahead of Ericsson at the time. So I thought that's not really good enough. So we went out again for a second run, fixed the issue where we basically slowed all of our progress in the final sector. Didn't get the best run at Junção, the final corner, but going up the hill, looks as if it's going to be an improvement of around 0.3 of a second. We're going to open up the DRS now, charge towards the line, and it's going to put us, where is it going to be? It's a 1:11.8, and that, well, it's still 15th. So, luckily, we had enough fuel to go for another run, and we're up again, even more this time around. So let's see, can we get a better run out of Junção this time with the Delta? Yep, Delta's improving. So we're going to charge up the hill. Because of the lower lap time around here, the lower overall lap time, the qualifying is going to be a lot closer than most other circuits. We're going to charge towards the line. Where's he going to put us? It's over 0.2, and that bumps us up to 12th only. But I mean, qualifying isn't normally my strength as we slide the car through the first corner. We dropped to 13th. By the end of qualifying, but when scrolling down and seeing Fernando only managed 19th and I was 1.3 seconds faster than him, I'm not really too upset with that. I'll be honest, not really too upset with the speed of Fernando. So let's see what we can do in the race. One thing I did, however, forget to do before qualifying was to swap a new engine. Like I said, I had a new engine for before the Brazilian Grand Prix and the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So, yeah, I'm running on an older engine in quali, but I've swapped that out now, as you're seeing on screen, and we're going to have a nice, fresh engine for the race and the penultimate round of the 2017 season. Season 1, the Brazilian Grand Prix.
With so much on the line here today, I can't help but shake the feeling that we're going to have a bit of pushing and shoving, Anthony Davidson, especially into turn 1 this afternoon.
Well, we do see a fair amount of that here at Interlagos, Crofty. It's a tricky braking zone, of course, as you're heading downhill into the centre S, which always makes it easy to lock the inside front and run a bit wide. We've seen a number of occasions over the years with someone from the leading group taking a bit of a knock on the first lap and having to recover. That's one of the reasons we've had so many exciting championship fights here. Hopefully, though, it will be a clean start, of course, but as you say, I wouldn't be too surprised if it's not.
Okay, so looking at the strategy, going to be our traditional one-stop that we tend to go for when we're down the order a little bit. So we'll do that, we'll fuel up, get a nice bit of extra fuel running in the car so we can push ourselves in this race as we build 5 lights. Lights are out and away we go for the Brazilian Grand Prix. We've actually been bumped up to 10th due to some grid penalties. Grosjean didn't have a good start off the line, so he's now looking compromised into turn 1. He is, of course, our rival that we want to try and beat if we can. We go side by side through. The centre S's have gone very wide in turn 3. That's compromised my exit. Sainz and Hulkenberg have pulled a good lead on us out of there, but now we come under attack down to turn 4. Does Grosjean have a look? No, he does not. So we're going to be able to sweep through there up into 9th place. Good start for us. We're running on the hardest compound of tyre. Sorry, the middle compound tyre, the soft tyre, which I believe is a harder compound than pretty much all the cars ahead of us here. So we should be able to work something out quite nicely, and we're going to try and attack while these cars ahead are vulnerable. Looking at the tyres of everyone else, it does look as if they are all running the super soft. So our objective, of course, as seeing as we lined up along or just behind Grosjean, is of course going to be to beat Grosjean here as we filter through. Look, we're almost done with the lap already as we come down now. the big part of the lap, and the major overtaking opportunity is going to be all crucial on this corner. Junkau getting a good exit out of here will allow us to charge up the hill and stick in the slipstream of the car ahead, which I'm trying to do with Hulkenberg, but I haven't quite managed it. As we now go towards the first corner, we're going to come under attack from Roman Grosjean. He's going to take a look down our inside. We're going to hold it if we can around the outside, leave him a bit of room. We've tapped a tiny bit. I believe the wheels made a slight bit of contact, but nothing too major as we went through the first corner. As we now come through now, end of lap 2. Unfortunately, the guys on the super softs ahead of us are going to be pulling away. It looks as if we're now going to come under attack from 2 cars now. Grosjean's on the outside. Bottas charges down our inside, leaving the room if we can while trying not to be overtaken by Grosjean, and we've managed to succeed quite nicely there. Good driving by everyone involved. Let's take a little look at the replays. We went 3 wide into the centre S. Grosjean on the grass, keeping it under control there, and beautifully executed. Bottas, of course, on the super soft tyres, so he is going to be right up on our chuff, but it now goes on to lap 7. Bottas hadn't managed to pass us. We're now under attack from Sergio Perez in the Force India, who's completely done me on the straight. Let's see if we can try and get him into turn 1. No, we can't. Perez there, showing the muscles of that Mercedes engine. He's just, well, he's driven away from us. And that's interesting for the championship, as we are battling Massa and Perez, like I said, for 7th place. We now move on to the end of lap 8. I'm burning fuel here. I'm trying to get my fuel down low. I realised all the extra weight probably isn't helping me, as Bottas screams past us. Grosjean throws it down the inside as well. Bottas would have had us, but he's locked up. And of course, Grosjean had nowhere to go because we were on his outside. So all he's had to do is slam on the brakes, sit behind Valtteri Bottas. And Bottas has prevented Grosjean from getting the position. Look at it from onboard Grosjean. Bottas turns in, locks up, nowhere to go. Grosjean loses out on all the momentum he had, and it allowed us to sweep back through and get the position. I was pretty lucky there because Bottas would have had me and would have driven off into the distance in that Mercedes, but he now attacks me into turn 4 and he's got me on the inside, and he sort of parked there. I tried to turn in. You heard the contact, so Bottas has now officially got past us. Grosjean is now past us as well. We're going to try and go into the right-hander, the sweeping right-hander at the start of the second sector, and thankfully we've been able to pull that one off there. We actually led him through, so this is now Massa who's now attacking us. Of course, like I've mentioned, we're battling him in the championship. Massa screams past us, and we again make contact with Grosjean. Massa leaves us a tiny bit of room on the inside. Can't get through in the first part of the centre S. We run wide in the final part of it, but Massa, for some reason, loses all speed mid-turn 3 and lost all of his momentum. We sweep past him on the outside. So lucky to avoid an accident there. That was some split decision driving to sweep to the outside as we get past him, as now guys are making their pit stops on lap 13. You see Bottas coming in, and Vettel is the car ahead of us, so you'd like to think that Vettel is going to be running to the end on those tyres. As you know, that he was on the he's on the soft tyres. He started on the super soft. He might struggle to get to the end. Vettel might be on a 2-stop. I know that I, of course, plan to go to the medium tyre and run a 3 as we're under attack from Jolyon Palmer, who manages to keep it side by side through turn 4 and actually get the better run up towards the right-hander. So Palmer showing some aggression there, and he tries to turn in. I give him no choice but to back out of the move as we go through again. Exceed track limits on the exit, I must admit. You know, a little bit cheeky, trying to eke out as much time as we could. But, you know, he left the car width of a Formula 1 car and a cigarette paper, and I took it from him. As we now dive in on lap 16, we come into the pits now. Nice and cautious on the entry. Don't want to be... it's very easy to speed in the pit lane here. So we're going to come in, fit the medium tyres that are going to run us to the end of the race. Apparently rain is scheduled, but like right at the end of the race, so I don't think it's going to affect us too much, if I'm 100% honest. So yeah, we've got medium runners. I mean, Ocon, you probably saw in the top left, he's nice and high up on the medium tyres, so he's going to be doing that one stop in Force India. And if that was Perez, we'd be losing a lot of points to him, but it's not. It's Ocon. We're going to come out in 15th place on the mediums behind Stroll, who is on super soft tyres, so we're probably not going to be catching him anytime soon. And it's now just about maintaining the tyres, maintaining the speed, and seeing what we can do as we continue to try and burn fuel. As we come across the line, we're going to set a personal best of a 14 flat. Still 4 seconds behind Stroll though, and Danny Kvyat is faster than me. And if I keep making mistakes like I did there in turn 1, letting the back end slide, wear out those rear tyres, that's exactly what's going to happen. And by the end of lap 21, that has happened, as the Toro Rosso, which is better than us in the corners, comes screaming past down the inside of turn 1. We're going to try and hold it around the outside if we can, give him plenty of room, and we tuck it down the inside of the second part of the Center S, and we have defended the position from Danny Kvyat. We're now back up into 10th place, so it looks as if through all sort of the pit stop phases we have managed to come back and looks as if we're going to be scoring a point. Kvyat has another go at us at the start of lap 25 into turn 1. He was very slow on his entry there. You heard contact, and now there's yellow flags. So we're going to have to take a look at what happened there, because the car has definitely spun out, and based upon hearing the sound, you can only assume it was Danny Kvyat. So let's see what happened here. He's locked up. He's gone what? He's gone deep. And as we've sort of turned in, we didn't so much turn in on him, but due to the fact he couldn't turn due to his locked up tyre, his tyre's caught our side pod and he's gone for a little half spin onto the grass. And yep, you see it there. And then, if you watch at the end here, very unsafely, turn 1, very unsighted for cars. He's just going to start reversing. You're going to see it just there. He actually reverses onto the track fully round and then carried on. So, dangerous stuff from Kvyat. Like I said, it got to about 11 laps left. So, I asked Jeff about the rain. Apparently 10 minutes. Well, if you consider a lap around here is about 1 minute 14 seconds, then we're probably not going to see it for the remainder of this race. But you never know what could throw a spanner into the works at the end. As speaking of spanners, here comes Nico Hulkenberg. I don't want you to think that I'm calling Nico Hulkenberg a spanner by any means. I don't know where that came from. Regardless of that, Hulkenberg is battling us through turn 5 and up towards the right-hander. Can we make the same move on him as we did Jolyon Palmer? Yes, we can. That was from even further back. So credit to Hulkenberg for seeing that move coming from a long way back, considering the speed of that corner. And we need to fight for this 10th place and this championship point. It is crucial for our fight in the championship as we now move. It's now Felipe Massa behind us now. And we're officially getting blue flags. So we've got, I believe, race leader Lewis Hamilton is now up behind us, so he'll be coming through any minute now. It was kind of awkward when it came to letting him through without sacrificing the position to Massa. I was more paying attention to my mirrors more than anything else, and you see Hamilton's there right now. How can I lift off and not lose this position to Massa? I sort of had to keep looking behind, see what Massa was doing, and in the end I saw Massa moved off to the left, so I just sort of move over to the left, lift ever so slightly, box Massa in, let Hamilton go round the outside. I'm still getting news about the weather as Hamilton locks up through turn 1. I get stuck behind him because, I mean, I can't really pass him again. I mean, I could, obviously, but I'm only going to be asked to let him back through. That, of course, compromised my run, but I think everyone behind me got so concertinaed up due to the emergency braking. Regardless, Massa's trying to stick his nose down the inside of turn 4, but he's under attack from Nico Hulkenberg, and he isn't able to make the move there. And I think we've managed to retain the position going up to the fast right-hander. Hulkenberg looked as if he had dived down the inside, and it looks as if the move worked out, because end of lap 29, it's now Hulkenberg looking to make a pass on us. And again, it's just the power. Just the power's letting us down at the top end. Hulkenberg gets through, we make a banzai move down the inside. Oh, contact made, put us all out of sorts through turn 1, and that is it. Hulkenberg has got past us in turn 1. He takes away that 10th place, but thankfully we do have a bit of rich mix and DRS as we head down towards turn 4. This is going to have to come from a long way back against the Renault. We tap tyres and we've just made it through. That was audacious and bold, and now we're getting more blue flags from one of the Ferraris. It comes to the end of lap 31. I've already let, I believe it was Kimi Räikkönen. Both Ferraris were pretty much running line astern, so they got let through. I can't remember how, but I didn't include that in the video. But we're still battling Hulkenberg away for this 10th place, and you can see now we move on to lap 35. The rain has not come. It's got a bit darker overcast, and the car, of course, became less and less responsive due to the tyres wearing out. Hulkenberg pinches himself on the apex of 4. He tries to make it through. We squeeze him to the apex of 5. He tries to hold it up the hill. Can he go around the outside of the double right-hander? He thinks about it for a second, then realises the lack of grip there was. Couldn't make a move against us, and we're going to come through. We're now coming up the hill, burning off all of our final bit of fuel as we charge towards the line. It's a hard, scrappy 10th place in the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
And so the celebrations begin, and well earned they are indeed. It may have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver can tell you, completing this level, at the very top, is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion. We can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix.
So that's it. Lewis Hamilton wins the race, and with that, the World Drivers' Championship. We came home 10th. Perez beat us to the line, but Massa was behind us, so Perez got 3 points on us that race. That puts us, if we have a look there, Perez is now equal on points to us, and Massa is 1 point behind us. So it's all down to Abu Dhabi for the Drivers' Championship. 7th position, and McLaren are in 6th. We're equal with Williams, so once again, that's going to come down to the final race of the season. So thankfully we've still got something to play for. You know, usually when it comes to these career modes, I've so outperformed Fernando, you don't really know how it's going to go, but it looks as if we've somehow managed to be in a scrap for points and a scrap for a constructor's position right at the end, which is always nice. You want the final race to carry some form of weight. It's always a little bit disappointing when, like in the actual F1 championships, when the championship has already been decided before the final race. But we've now had 25 pit stops, and due to that, the team pit stop efficiency, we're now going to have a reduction of 10% pit stop time. We get 30% quicker, I believe, after like 50 races, something like that. And then we come to Abu Dhabi, and we got a sponsor bonus of 750 resource points, our second one of the season. And as you know, I'm keen to do a lot of upgrades in the off-season, so we will sort of see how that all goes. I'm hoping to have a car that's looking very good for the midfield in Season 2. Want to be sort of on the level of maybe like a not so much a Force India, they're like top of the midfield, but like a Williams and a Renault, that sort of region, because I can always extract more out of the car. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. We move on to the final round next time out, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix of Season 1, and then we'll of course be doing the upgrades to the car. Leave a like if you did enjoy and comment any feedback down below. Subscribe and enable them notifications to be informed of the content that is coming to the channel, and I will see you all next time.